All right. Hello, everyone. How's it going? Thank you. Hello, welcome to Court of the Rings on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. I am Lotro's community manager, Cordovan, and I'll be with you for a while here today, maybe something like an hour, to talk a little bit about the latest news, have some Q&A, and overall just kind of kick off the weekend in style. I have to admit I am pretty much worn out by the end of a long week here, so if I'm a little down, low energy, that's why. It's been a long week, everyone. But there we are. So hope you're having a good one. Hope you're having a good one. Hello from Switzerland. Hello, everyone. We have someone at Gen Con, huh? Anyone happens to be watching from Gen Con, you got my heart. Kind of wish I could be there, but not this year. Not this year. That's all there is to it. What is this? This is Court of the Rings. This is really a chance for me to hang out with the Lotro community for about an hour on Twitch every Friday afternoon, do some Q&A, have the latest news, show off a little bit about what's going on. In this case, I'm on Brawler to start with, although I may head to the regular game world a little bit later on in the show. Otherwise, we're wrapping up today our second preview for Update 30.3. That includes a new look at the Brawler, a new look at legendary items, and more. So all that's happening, and that's all cool. And that, however, does end within a few hours here. We currently have not too much time yet before this stuff actually hits live. We are probably going to have a third Bull Roar next week, but stay tuned for more information about that. And then pretty soon we're getting to Update 30.3, which is going to be when the first part of a lot of this legendary item work hits. And during the course of the show here today, I'll try to touch on some of the questions I got last week related to legendary items as well. But there we go. So that's really the main bit of news, is that we've got our second preview happening this week, and we're cooking along toward the actual release of this stuff pretty darn soon. We do have one event happening this weekend that I might do on the live servers, probably will do on the live worlds a little bit later on in the show, and that is the Tale of the Shipwrecked Mariners. Happens this weekend, and it runs through September 20th. Is that right? Shoot, let me actually double check that date. But anyway, Tale of the Shipwrecked Mariners, however, is on track there for the weekend. So that's a thing to do. And then also next week we've got the Baggins' birthday. So yeah, Tale of the Shipwrecked Mariner through the 20th, being shut off on the 21st at 3 a.m. Eastern Time. So you do indeed have through Monday to run the Tale of the Shipwrecked Mariners. Kind of a small little event, but a chance to get you kind of an eye patch and a somewhat piratey-themed hat and what have you. And then Baggins' birthday kicks off on that same day the Tale of the Shipwrecked Mariners ends. So beginning at 10 a.m. Eastern on September 21st, so next Tuesday, and running through the 26th, being shut off on the 27th. So that would be through that following Sunday, will be the Baggins' birthday event as well. And then honestly, right following that, from on the event schedule on the 30th, we got the Buried Treasure event. So we're kind of doing bang, bang, bang on a handful of pretty cool returning events here for Lotro. So I guess that's really the main news. Let me see what we got in chat. Bilbo's birthday, a fun, easy way to get a couple of quick levels in your lobies. And if you want to challenge yourself, do the epilogue in Northern Mirkwood. Sounds good. Possible for having the weekly news with the shop code German. Oh God. I apologize. You're right. I didn't get to the French and German sales copy yesterday. I had that written down, all localized and ready to go, and then I got shoved into meetings and everything, and next thing I know, it was 10:30 at night, and I hadn't done it. So let me go and get that for you if I can. The shop code, though, is the same as it is in English. We don't localize the shop code for the free coupon of the week. So let me get you that. And I apologize, I'll have to take care of that right after the show here today. The coupon code is hard hitting. Hard hitting. Hard hitting. And it gets you free plus 5% attack damage times 25 for 90 minutes. A lot of plus 5% attack damage for free. That's not bad. Hello from Washington State. Hello. Can we get a return to skills bundle sale to include hurried expedient traveler? I can pass that along, gal. I'm not sure exactly why we wouldn't do something like that. Sounds pretty cool to do a return to skills bundle sale. I don't know. I have to check with e-commerce to see what the possibility is there. All right, what we've got over on Facebook. Jeff, over on Facebook is asking, is a game worth joining from the beginning? Basically, try to address the concern about it seems like everyone's so up level that you'd be like an outlier kind of doing your own thing. One option that you might want to check into is our legendary worlds. They happen, they're pretty far along for the most part right now, except Treebeard you might want to take a look at. And that would let you play with some players at lower level content. Can brawlers get cosmetic hand puppets? Probably not. I'm down. Please do not make champions irrelevant. We do not intend to. Okay. I do actually have, let me think here, what can I talk a little bit about? Let me just talk a little bit about legendary items here. And what happened to... Oh yeah, I need to pick up a bunch of ancient script. Let me do that quick. What? There we go. Max buy. Okay, I got a bunch of ancient script. Now let me get an item here. Kind of show you what we got going on. Where'd the Brawler stuff go? There we go, Brawler Stein. Pick that one up. And equip it. Oops. Alright, so you can see this is the new legendary item interface. By the way, we've decided we are still going to be using the term legendary items for this. So the kind of early thing of Blink of Legend or whatever is cool, but I think we're just going with legendary items for this new thing. The reason I actually wanted to show a little bit of legendary item stuff at the start of the show is I wanted to take a minute to update people on a few questions that have been floating around in recent weeks on the preview related to conversion and use of old allies and things like that. I have a little bit I can talk to there. So let's start with the conversion as well. Or let's start with the conversion. One of the things we're planning to do is allow you to take your existing legendary item and basically lock it in. You know, you're basically saying, no more. Work on your legendary item, and in exchange for doing that, you will be getting a whole bunch of ingredients that will bring your newer legendary item much closer to parity, or parity and beyond, depending, of course, on how developed your old LI is. But you'll get a trade-in, essentially, of ingredients. And that does not destroy the old legendary item. You'll still have your legendary item, and at least for the foreseeable future here, you'll be able to equip it. Eventually, we want to deprecate this stuff. Eventually, your old legendary item will probably not either be formally not equipable, or more likely become irrelevant to the point that you wouldn't want to equip it anyway. That's the plan, is that this stuff is, your old LI is very quickly going to be eclipsed by your new LI. So a lot of the concerns about how long I'll be using my old legendary item, the answer is not very, unless you want to. You should pretty much reach parity and beyond on your new legendary item pretty soon after launch of Gundabad at the very least. Now, legendary items are a big part of Gundabad, but they're actually debuting a little bit before that with update 30.3. So there will be a transition period where you may want to still equip your old LI while you're working on your new LI and what have you. But even then, a lot of your new LI is going to start off better than your old LI. So the amount of actual work you'll want to do on your old LI should be very minimal. I wanted to address a question as well about what about my old LI? Will I still be able to update it and update it after 30.3 goes live? I want to set the expectation that the answer is basically no. You might, in some cases, be able to continue to do things with your LI. For example, some kind of tweaking of the LI system will still be possible after update 30.3, but in particular, my understanding is that reforging of old LIs will not be possible after update 30.3 goes live. And the reason for that is that the reforging system is being recycled and reused for the new LI system, and that is incompatible with the old LI system. So if you want to use a reforge on your old LI, then you probably want to do that real quick here, within the next week and a half to 2 weeks. Because once update 30.3 goes live, you will likely not be able to reforge your old LI. Now, there may be some vendors you can talk to. There may be some things that you can do. We're not generally spending a lot of time and effort to prevent you from updating your old LI, but a necessary outcome of the work we're doing is that a lot of the hooks that you would use to update your old LI are going away. On top of that, things like old LIs are not going to be dropping northern ingredients. Although I would not be surprised at all if we missed a few places where you could still get old LI ingredients. We'll probably be playing whack-a-mole on that for just a little while because of the depth and complexity of the system and how long it's been around. But the general thing that you should be aware of is that if you want to work on your old LI, you really want to do that now. But you probably, for the most part, and I don't want to tell you what to do here, right? You can do what you want. But for the most part, I think you will find that you will not want to work much on your old LI, if at all, once update 30.3 goes live. Okay, so those are a couple of the pieces. I talked about the conversion, where you'll basically get a whole bunch of new LI ingredients, and you'll lock your old LI essentially in place at that point, saying it will not be able to be adjusted any further, because we don't want you can't sort of do a scaling grant and then update it and then get all that grant again, right? Because it can't really do that. So it's going to basically say one and done on your old LI conversion per item, of course. All right, so those are the two big things. I guess another bit I wanted to mention is that there was some discussion in more the last Bull Roar than this Bull Roar about some of the numbers potentially being a little higher on older LIs than they are on new LIs. As part of our work, we're doing some rebalance of the numbers throughout the system. So in many of the cases where you're seeing higher numbers on your old LI, those old LIs are going to see some adjustments as well in terms of statting when update 30.3 goes live. So that's part of the overall work that's being done on the legendary item revamp. So in most cases, you really should not see a lot of benefit of the old ally over the new ally, given two weapons of relative or two items of relative parity in terms of item level and things like that. All right. What else can I follow up on a little bit? I'm trying to think about some of the other questions we've had. We definitely know, we've been hearing from you, champs. We're working on it. I expect that to be a non-issue for the most part when it goes live. Outside of the outrageous benefits that people have been getting from weapon swapping, which is going away. Weapon swapping will be going away when update 30.3 hits. And we do realize that that's going to impact a bunch of different things. We'll be, of course, taking a look and making adjustments as necessary. But at the moment, outside of, say, work on champ DPS and some other things, we are okay with the impact of removing weapon swapping on the game. As a matter of fact, we want it. It'll be much, much better for the game. Sorry if you liked weapon swapping, but no. I'm going to tell you no on this one. Ain't coming back. Never should have been there to begin with. Also, how's that for a strong statement? But it's true, and that's what's going to be happening. So, when you're in combat, you will not be able to swap weapons. Yes, Weir Willow has a very good question over on Twitch about old LI skins. Your lore master hasn't quite leveled enough to use their pretty second age butterfly top staff. It's pretty. Can I find it again? That is a question I've posed to the team, and at this point, I don't think we have an exact answer for you right now. However, we're not going to toss this stuff. I mean, it's still going to be there in game, so even if, it'll remain in all the old LIs that people still have in their inventory and can use long-term, right? So that, it'll still be there. And then in terms of using it again in the future, they are ultimately weapon skins, so we would have the ability to bring them back in different ways for different items in the future, and that's what I'd expect us to do. I mean, it doesn't seem to make a lot of sense that we would take all those different cosmetic looks of legendary items built over the years and just chuck them out the window, right? So we'll almost certainly be using them again in the future. And maybe even a lot of it in Gundabad, but we'll see where we end up there. Alright, I probably prompted a bunch of other questions here with some of the things I've been talking about, so let me see if I can address any of that kind of thing. What webcam do I use? This is an aside. Someone just had theirs break. I use a Logitech C920. That is a very common webcam among the streamer set. As a matter of fact, it's probably for a while it was like the government-issued webcam if you were a streamer, right? It was the one that you got. Seriously, probably 90% plus were using it. Nowadays, there are a lot more options out there, but it's still one of the cheaper and better ones out there. Do what works for you, but the Logitech C920 has almost become a default, as it were, for streaming, and it's because it's relatively cheap and easy to use, and it basically just works. So. Tracery word rune drops seem to not follow the normal drop rate rules we've seen in the latest scaled favored solo fellowship version. Is this a placeholder, or is this the expected drop rate rules? I would say the answer to that, Squirrel on Twitch, is neither. It is you're seeing a section of the work that's going into the game in time for update 30.3. So many of the places you're currently seeing these traceries drop will be where you'll be seeing traceries drop. Drop rates and drop frequency is still very much unsettled, so I wouldn't rely on any kind of drop rate frequency based on what you're seeing in this particular bull roar. So the answer is, you're seeing a partial picture, but the picture that you are seeing is largely where it's going to be in terms of kind of what you get. Although I don't know that we've even really addressed a lot of drop rate work yet, so that may be mostly placeholder. And it's certainly not a complete picture of where all traceries will be dropping from. It's a very professional-looking microphone, someone says. Why, thank you. The mic here, by the way, is also a fairly standard one. It's a Audio-Technica AT2020 USB version. And it, too, is also a very popular kind of webcam you'll see on the streamer set. You'll have to help me out a little bit, Creefast22 on Twitch. What do you mean by what about catch-up items not used yet? So if you want to use items on your old LI, now is the time to do so. I see. Okay, so one other piece I could mention I don't think I've mentioned is that, although we've been saying this for weeks now, we are planning to do a conversion of probably not all, but hopefully most to all valuable old LI ingredients. So if there's something that you've been spending a lot of kind of time and effort on, we will probably try to take that ingredient and allow for some kind of conversion to a new ingredient under the system. I don't think all that's going to be locked down in time for update 30.3. My guess is more that will happen between update 30.3 and the launch of update 31. So don't toss your old stuff. But we do intend to have a general conversion of valuable old LI ingredients to new LI ingredients. Hopefully of a similar value. And no numbers about how many materials you'll get when locking current LIs. No idea. It depends what the devs come back with here. The goal, though, is parity, or pretty darn close to it, so. Yes, so age of, I'm sorry, not quite sure what that all reads. I'm not even going to try it. Can we exchange our old LIs for the new currency? So yes, essentially, although you're not actually exchanging your old LI, because your LI is not going away. You're not giving it to somebody who runs off into the sunset. What you'll be doing is talking to an NPC, presumably, and then that LI will be evaluated under the system, and then it'll spit out a bunch of ingredients for you to bring you, value from the work that you've done there. And then the old LI will remain in your inventory. You can equip it and stuff, but you won't be able to do further work on it. Although, for the most part, like I say, for the most part, you're not going to be doing any further work on your LIs once 30.3 hits. And you will not be able to reforge the item. That in particular is going to be, I think, the gotcha in terms of not being able to bring the new system in place, because the reforging system is under use with the new LI system. I also don't know if my assumption, Lyran, is that this would be for imbued item turn-in, not non-imbued item turn-in. That's my guess. I could be wrong there, but I don't think so. That's probably the way it's going to work, is that you will it would probably, presumably, it's going to be for your imbued, not non-imbued allies. Is there still a way to sign up to join the Palantir server previews? The Palantir program will... what do I want to say? The Palantir preview program will do drives fairly regularly, but that's not a function of something I'm involved in, so that'll come from QA. What we will do in that case is get the word out on social media, and we'll put it on the forums when we do further rounds of Palantir preview program applications. I don't know what the plan is for that in terms of timing. But I think the answer is largely sure. You can still sign up in the future here when we have program, and you can always sort of read up and send it an application anyway. I'll take a look at it. Yeah, it's not really open for applications at this time. They do preview cycles where they bring in new applications. That doesn't mean we don't get applications anyway, and that's fine. But, you know, that is the case. All right, before I kind of pop on over to another world in that, last week I barely had time to show off any Brawler skills, so I wanted to just take a couple minutes to do that this time around. There's a lot of kind of granular questions about, what could I turn in this bit? Can I turn in that bit? What if I turn in this bit? Does it work for first, second age symbols, for example, etc.? I don't know. I don't know. A lot of the conversion work is still being done, so I can't give you a definitive answer today. And it's not all necessarily going to be in place, or even partially in place, by 30.3. We'll see. But it is something that we will be doing here in the future. Presumably before around the release of Update 31. So you get to keep your old allies as a nice reminder of the old days. That, plus, if you're a player, for example, who's like, I am never going to touch the new ally system, I refuse to it, I'm never going to touch it again because I like my old ally and I promise I'm just never going to touch the new ally system. Well, that's fine, you'll have your old ally, and you will be able to, at least for a while, you'll be able to continue to use it. Eventually, you will presumably over-level it. But that's not going to be for a while yet. I'm just kind of showing off some animations more than anything. Why not hold 30.3 until that conversion is ready? Because it doesn't need to be held for it. There would be no real reason to hold it for that. That kind of conversion work could really be done at any time. And so if it's not ready like day one, that's fine. You wouldn't really need it anyway. But we do intend to do it pretty soon afterwards. And some aspects of it will... Well, my guess is what'll happen is it'll be a rolling addition. Right, so we'll roll out with, you can convert this, 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 and this, and here's a list of the other 1,200 ingredients, and you can, as we start adding those ingredients to the list, we'll add them into the release notes for conversion and what have you. So, we'll see, but, it's not going to be we've now done the one conversion system work that we're ever going to do. My guess is it's going to be a rolling amount of work because it's just a huge amount of stuff to consider and deal with. And so almost certainly we're going to have to try to get as much of it as we can on a first pass and then continue to work on it beyond that. So, we'll see. I cannot announce a price for Brawler. That will come presumably when we have more information about Gundabad and a FAQ for when it'll be available for points and such, per usual, for that kind of thing. How much did I rabble rouse to get them to make a Helm Crusher skill of a headbutt? Nothing, actually. That was just pure coincidence that they happened to give the Brawler a really kick-ass headbutt, and I happen to be a fan of headbutting monsters in the Lord of the Rings Online. Pure coincidence! Uh, they will be releasing together. Galore one over on Twitch who asks, which one will be released first, Brawler or the new legendary items? They're going to be the plan today, at least as of today, plan today, is that this is going to be debuting at the same time. Now we don't, we're not there yet, so I can't promise anything. But that's the likely outcome, is that they'll both debut with update 30.3 here at the same time. There is not a new hobby with the release of Gundabad. Sorry, also Galore. Can something be done about combat login? Seriously, creeps with 1.5 to 2 mil HP having enough time to combat log is a joke. Timeout needs increase, same as wide switching time increase. Can something be done about combat login? Loggin. Not sure what that means. I apologize. All right, let me pop on over to YouTube, see what kind of questions I can answer there. With the opening of Kin Homes shortly in Treebeard, can we get a visit from the curator in Bree? Good suggestion, Vinicor, over on YouTube. I'm going to copy that one over into a notepad and see what we can do there. That sounds like a good idea to me, but we'll see. Has Gundabad's release been announced? I assume by that point you mean release date, and the answer is no. Typically the way we've done it as SSG is we'll have a pre-purchase period where you'll be able to, pre-order it, get your benefits or some of the benefits right away, and then after that we'll release it to live. Usually when we do the pre-purchase campaign, we list a formal date of release for the expansion, and I would expect us to do that this time around as well. Oh, it means you can avoid defeat if you log out fast enough. That does sound like a problem. All right. All right. Okay, now that I've know that, yeah, you cold cache, thank you. That actually makes a lot more sense now. If you got 1.52 million hit points, you got time to log out while you're getting bashed. That does sound like something we'll need to take a look at. We've been talking that we do have some PvMP work in the works, and that sounds like something that we could potentially take a look at to see if we can do. No. Someone is saying, are River Hobbits still happening with Gundabad? They were never happening with Gundabad. But potentially River Hobbits could happen in the future. is there any news on if we are going to change the key system? In that case, you mean presumably Adventure Steelbound, the Steelbound loot box keys? We've been talking, there had been some hints about kind of a lot of e-commerce related kind of adjustments that we might be looking at in the future, and I really can't speak to that, but that would be among the questions that we would want to sort through, is probably find a more elegant way to deal with keys, among other things. We also have heard, I know, over the years, since we removed keys as an in-game grant, we kind of did a big thing with loot boxes where we sort of removed them from a lot more of the core gameplay. And as part of that, we stopped dropping keys in-game. And we've been hearing from people that they'd like us to bring that back, and it's something we're considering. But if we did, we'd want it to be under presumably a more holistic top-down reevaluation of the system as well, so that we could address other concerns related to it. Yes, Gundabad will have a pre-order. Any news on the, quote, visual upgrade and bringing the game to next-gen consoles announced in the investor meeting in 2020? No. That was part of a slide that happened with EG7. I don't have anything I can announce there. Yes, we have housing plans. I can't talk about them today. Can we get additional meta deeds that give cosmetic rewards in older expansion zone? Good suggestion. Why are elf brawlers? They seem so strange and unfitting, I think. I mean, personal taste, personal opinion. I've seen that feedback. I disagree with it. But, we've heard from some elements of the community that they would like us to further lore restrict Brawler. Our intention in this particular case is to focus on fun. Focuses on the fun. Why restrict it if you want to? So in general, we want anyone to be able to play a brawler if they want to. Bjornings, however, can't be brawlers because of the way Bjornings are set up as kind of their weird class race mix. The launcher is awful, do something about it. Okay. Don't disagree. Our launcher is not awful. It has been the lifeline to our game for many, many years. But at the same time, it is pretty crusty, ain't it? Nobody, I think, would disagree that kind of given opportunity to do so, would we like to update our launcher? I think the answer to that is, oh my god, yeah. And hopefully at some point in the future we can turn our attention to that work. Alright, let me turn my attention to Facebook. Ah. Yes. Jacob, that came up, geez, in just kind of a virtual hallway conversation not that long ago about finding a way to remove unused random gen name options that have already been used. There's millions of names in there, and the system doesn't really do a very good job of knowing what's been used and what hasn't. That is something we'd also like to do someday. Will a level 130 Valar be applicable on a level 130 character to catch all the trait points and get better virtues? I don't think so. Or do we? Shoot. It'll be whatever the 120 does. So if we let you do it on the 120, and I'm sorry, I can't think of whether we do off the top of my head here. If we let you do it on the 120, you probably will be able to do it on the 130. And if you can't do it on the 120, then you probably will not be able to do it on any kind of future 130 Valor that may or may not someday get released. Will crafting be something of the past, or will it be relevant? It will remain pretty relevant. Among other things, there are words of there are traceries that are crafted. So I appreciate what you're asking, Stefan, over on, or Stefan, however you say it, over on Facebook. If you have a currently maxed out first stager, will you have a currently maxed out new LI? My guess on that would be no. However, last week we asked Vastin that question, and he had said that kind of the bleeding edge are the people who are going to be the trickiest to find parity with. So, but no is the answer. I don't think, if for no other reason than the power level of your old maxed out LI is not going to equal the power level of a new maxed out LI, even close. You know, it's going to be significantly more powerful on the new LI. My expectation and presumption would be that when doing a conversion, the team will try to reach relative parity when possible. So if you have a bleeding edge kind of maxed out current LI, hopefully you'll find a similar statistical benefit and place of power on the new LI. But then, of course, you won't be maxed out on that new LI, because the new LI will max out significantly higher than your old LI. Sorry, also, Stefan, I can't get into numbers about Gundabad, numbers of instance clusters, raids, scalable, all that kind of thing. We're going to have to uh, talk more about that. Oh, someone also over on Facebook, people were asking, noting the coins. That's because I'm on Bullroar. That's why that's happening. As a matter of fact, the time's going a little bit faster than I expected. So let me pop over to the live game world here quick. I just kind of wanted to show off the tales of the Shipwrecked Mariners and get people a sense of how to get started on it, in case they need to. So that's what's going on with that. All right, let me swap clients here. In case you wonder if I actually am copying and pasting this stuff down, this is based on an old QA. There's my notepad up. Yes, I am. I am indeed. You can see it right there. I am actually writing this copy stuff. I am indeed copy pasting the copy pasta. There we go. Now, where is that now on my presentation? Oh, there we go. Okay. Oops. Yeah. Now that's funny. All right. All right, let me keep going through keep going through Facebook here just a little bit. $120 that we got with the expansion was usable on a 120 character. Okay, I thought that was the case, but I didn't want to say it in case I was wrong. That leads me to believe that probably the answer is yes, you would be able to technically use a 130 on a 130 for the Valor. Will weapon swapping be going away because of an inability to swap in combat, or will there be a cooldown? When you are in a combat scenario, you know, your character's in combat, right? In the combat stance, you will not be able to swap weapons. That's how it'll work. So as long as your character is kind of in that sort of combat stance, you will not be able to swap weapons. That's how it's going to work on the functional side. I'm assuming, though, that someone's saying, well, what about empowerment scrolls? Will they be converted? Almost certainly. I'd have to assume that your empowerment scrolls would be one of the first things we'd want to take a look at here. So, oh, actually, I logged into the wrong character. This person already ran Tale of the Shipwrecked Mariner. Alright. I did it yesterday. Okay. Oh, no, I've got someone saying 120 was not usable on a 120. Okay. Sorry, I don't know the answer to that off the top of my head. I'd have to check with the systems team to remember what we did for the 120. But my belief is that whatever we did for the 120 is what we're going to be doing for the 130. If we ever do a 130, which has not been announced. But, you know. But, you know. Will you have info on the Gundabad bundles before the Brawler becomes available? No. It will be very likely that those two things will happen at the same time. Am I going to create a Brawler character for my streams in the future? Yup. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely, I will be. Can I really not get there? Of course, I can't get to Bookland from here. Fine. Alright. Oh, Westbury then. No, I'm trying to look at, do a few things at once. Here we go. You know what? Let's just do it. Whatever. Kales, I have no comment on the business side of things. It would not be appropriate for me to talk about kind of corporate business messaging that may have been put into forward-looking statements by EG7 or anything like that. So that would not be something I'd be able to comment about. No, I don't think that's true. Lifts of Laurelin saying we're basically stopping weapons swapping after finally hearing about it. No, we've been aware that it's been a issue for a long time. And it's one of those long-term debates where you, as a team, are like, we want to do this, we'll make everyone mad. Let's kick it down the road. No, but we really need to do this. Okay, but not now. We'll do this later. And then later comes and we have that argument again and all that sort of thing. So a lot of times these sort of, even when we know, something that needs to be done, when we get a lot of feedback from the community, we do consider that feedback a lot. And, there have been times where, well, we're seeing it right now, right? Where people are like, I want to keep doing my weapon swapping, but we're finally ripping the Band-Aid off it because it's terrible for the game. It's terrible for balance. It's a terrible gameplay experience, and it's really difficult to balance long term. It creates this class of who's willing to cheese the system and who isn't. And we're not really interested in playing that game. So, you're not cheating or anything by weapon swapping currently. You're just doing what you're allowed to do. But that's why the solution is to get rid of it. And that is why we will be doing that in the very near future. So it's not fair to say that we just now learned of it. We've known about it for a long time. It's just at the moment where we finally have the political will and willingness to cause a little bit of disruption, because I think in part of the LI work that's being done. Yeah, you don't hear game audio, that's right. There's a reason for that. Last week, I ended up getting trolled. So I turned it down before the start of the show here today, so I didn't have to spend all my time looking at it. I'll turn it up here. I will do better next week. Alright, so to get started on the tale of the Shipwrecked Mariners here, as we have just a couple minutes left of the show, I wanted to kind of show people what's up. And what's up is that you go to Buckland, along down by the river here, and then you speak to Argirian. And again, you can do this through Monday. Shuts off Tuesday at 3 a.m. Eastern. So you talk to them, and then you need to talk to Aaron here, and he's actually quite a ways away. I don't know that I've got the minutes to do it right now, but if you basically go north, is it up here? See that? It's not. Shoot. So. Oh, it's actually over here. Yeah. Here we go. Evendim. And here is the NPC that you're looking for on the map. So, however you want to get to Evendim, probably the easiest way to do it is to teleport, if you can, to Tunudir. But you could always go to, theoretically, like Dwelling or something like that, and then port your way over. Or you can do it the hard way and ride up that way, and then ride up the road over that way to speak to the NPC. When you speak to the NPC, you're going to get a quest to pick up a certain number of items, and that includes these bottles of ale. It's something like 25, and then 10 of some casks. I can't think of the right term here. Hopefully I'll run into one here in just a second. Yeah. A keg of cram. You'll be picking up kegs of cram. Now, you can just kind of sit here and farm this little area here, because this stuff just kind of keeps popping up over and over again. That won't forward the adventure, though, or the quest. So you want to make sure you go over to the Shire and get it done. but you can just kind of sit here and pick things up. This is a really easy event to get your stuff with. It's not really meant to be a big grind or anything like that. This is super duper easy to do. And that's that. So it looks like I'm just about out of time, and I guess I will call it then there. I don't actually know what my plan is for next Friday's show yet. I will see if we have a bull roar or not. I think I've got a little bit a marketing thing that I will be doing, and that's pretty groovy. But I can't tease that any further than that. But let's just say next week's show might have a tease of a thing that maybe you would be interested in. And I will most likely put that at the front of the show, because I don't want anyone to sit here and watch me for an hour if they don't want to. I don't have anything I can really say today about the housing update. I think the latest word from Scenario is probably the latest word on that. Oh, take the Buckland Ferry. You're right. I completely forgot about that. Gosh darn it. Well, whatever. Anyway, we're out of time anyway. But yes, take the Buckland Ferry. Do that. Right, we have ferries. All right, there we go. And that's going to do it with the show. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. I'll see you next week and have some more news. And thank you very much for being a part of the community and for playing The Lord of the Rings online. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.